We are currently in Japan with Hitachi Construction Machinery, and in this video we're going to show you how they build these medium-sized excavators. Konnichiwa from Tokyo, Japan, a place well known for its rich culture, delicious food, and my favorite, machines. Yep, we're here visiting Hitachi Construction Machinery, a world-class heavy equipment manufacturer that builds earth movers from 2 to 800 tons. I have always wanted to see Japanese manufacturing for myself, so when HCM invited us to visit a few of its manufacturing facilities and a mining customer, I couldn't say yes fast enough. In this video, we're specifically touring their medium excavator plant, which builds 10 to 30 ton excavators for job sites on 6 continents. So with that, let's get right to it. Starting at the hotel in Tokyo, we hopped onto a minibus for the 1.5 hour drive to the plant. As Tokyo is the world's largest city, it took us a while to even find the Japanese countryside. Once we arrived, we enjoyed a quick safety briefing, then became distracted by the gift shop. And you bet we went shopping. Back to the main program. Are we going to walk all the way through and then come back?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, very good.
And if you want to stop any area, please let him know.
Before we enter the assembly line, let's cover the basics. Think of the entire process as a capital Y, with the top as the starting point. On one side is the undercarriage, and on the other is the frame and machine itself. Both sides move down the line, with workers adding components as they advance, like a giant Lego set. Then, about halfway down the line, the two lines become one when they perform the docking.
What are you doing?
Docking.
Which connects the undercarriage to the machine. Once together, each machine continues to the end where it can track off the line for testing. Other processes, such as frame fabrication, engine assembly, and paint, are performed elsewhere within the plant to keep the assembly process flowing as smoothly as possible. And speaking of these other processes, let's first check out the control valves. Before we get to the assembly line, there's so much going on outside of the assembly line to prepare for that assembly process. Here, for example, is the control valve. We have a whole operation back here, tons of people working on all these different valves to put these different fittings, hoses on this, and then this assembly will make its way to the assembly line where it'll be fitted to the machine. But doing it over here at separate areas of the plant saves a lot of time and allows those machines to be assembled as fast as possible. Okay. We're gonna do our best here.
Move to next.
Okay.
Painting for the frame truck.
2年前に立ち上げたラインについては、上乗りと下乗りともにロボットで塗装しております。
So 2 years ago, we have this new painting line with a robot doing actually entire painting for both top and then the bottom parts.
Post fabrication of the undercarriage and the upper frame is painting. This enormous box behind me is the painting booth, and within the painting booth are some robots doing the painting as you can see here. So here they are working away. They can go through the entire frame there, getting every single surface, an even coat of paint over that entire piece of steel. And the paint is really essential for one, to make it look pretty, but more importantly for two, corrosion purposes. You don't want that steel corroding over time, and the paint protects it as such. And here we have a CAD file showing the frame itself. This is how they teach the robots where they have to paint. The robots are key here because it ensures a perfect coat of paint. Perfect. Over every single surface area here, and as you can see, there's a lot of different surface areas to get. It's very difficult for a human, but these two robots can do it very efficiently.
So we're going to move into a truck frame.
Okay.
Truck frame line starts here.
Very good.
まずは旋回輪っていうんですけども、中にこうベアリングが入ってて、
There's a bearings in installed
Yep, yep.
and to turn, right?
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah. So as you can see,
At this stage in the process, there's two assembly lines. This is the beginning of the first for the undercarriage. The forklifts are bringing in each frame right here, and this crew is putting on that swing gear that we see up top there already fitted, and then putting on the top rollers before then they turn the track frame over using that spinny machine right there for the next process.
we have a roller such will be located at the bottom of the truck line
作業下からできないんで、
because you cannot work from the bottom of the
Oh, so they roll it
That's
over?
why we will roll
反
it.
転機入れて反対になったところに、下ローラーとかガー
So
ド
it's upside down.
Okay.
The guards, and then also the bottom rollers to be installed here.
で付けやすくてナットランナーみたいので
And we can squeeze it.
Yep, yep, yep.
Tight it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that we have it flipped over, everybody can work on that bottom of the undercarriage a lot more effectively. So at this station, we have the sprockets and the rollers, all of the hydraulic components to operate the tracks going on before it's flipped back over for the next steps. The rollers, the drive sprocket, all of the hoses is now within the undercarriage, so we can roll it back over to do everything up top and get it onto the machine. The sprocket is on. Now is the idler with the track tensioner. So this is the other side of the track. This giant spring here essentially applies pressure, which tightens each track. Along each side of the assembly line, it's worth noting all of the people not working on the assembly line but preparing the parts to go on the machines on the assembly line to keep that assembly line moving as quickly as possible. So here we have a guy preparing the rollers. Each one of these pallets of rollers is dedicated to a specific machine getting built. So he is using this crane off to the side to prepare all of these rollers for that eventual installation.
We call it the shoe area, right? The caterpillar. And we will use that
トラックに
fixture.
今押せる。
And then the truck frame will be on top of
Oh,
the
I see.
shoe.
Yep.
Yeah, he's actually doing it right now.
It's not an undercarriage without tracks. This is where the forklift bringing in a few sets of tracks at a time, setting them there next to the assembly line, and then using this crane, this guy here will roll them out, position the undercarriage atop them, wrap them around, and now we have our completed undercarriage. This is the beginning of the second assembly line here. The house, as you saw, the forklift just brought this frame in from the fabrication part of the plant. They are putting on the first pieces onto the frame. Then this will turn the entire frame and it will start heading down the assembly line for all of the different components. And here's where the control valves we saw previously assembled end up on the assembly line, ready for the marriage onto the frame there. Here are the next three already prepared alongside the assembly line to go along the next three frames. And as you can see, they're on these modular systems here with wheels. So the forklifts and different carts can wheel them in. Once they're done, wheel these carts out, grab more, and just go back and forth, keeping that assembly line moving as fast as possible. This is the section of the assembly line where they make it go vroom. These are the engines. There are different machines on this medium-sized excavator assembly line, so there are different size engines. This area here allows these guys to fit a few additional components onto each engine before they make their way onto the house. Just one more thing to note is there are a ton of carts here. All have the necessary parts for these engines already laid out. So these guys, all they have to do is walk over here, just grab with a corresponding part, the corresponding bin with the corresponding bolts, take it over there, assemble it real quick so that they can get those engines onto those machines as fast as possible. Speed, 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 speed. Now that we've got the engine in there, we can start to put the other bits and pieces on, like the emissions system, the fluids tanks, and the cooling system. Like before, we have the part of the cooling package here, and to install this, we need these bolts that are right at the bottom of this assembly. So as we're putting this onto the excavator, we have everything we need. And for you careful observers, you'll see the assembly line is moving very slowly. It's recessed into the floor. Each machine is on these supports fixed to it, and they are moving along with the machine as it goes to keep everything right on schedule.
Oh,
Oh, this is where it comes together.
And then here you can see it's
Yeah.
installed
で
on
こ
top of it.
このある一定のところに来たら
Once you reach here,
ドッキングをこうする、今
and
ド
then
ッキン
we'll
グ
do
さ
the
れた後に
docking,
Yeah.
こうそして一つのラインに走る。
and then it will be only one single line.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, until this point, we've had two different lines, one for the undercarriage, one for the house. Now this is where they marry the two together to form just one line for the rest of the assembly process. So we have the undercarriage moving along very slowly on the line closest to us. That'll be the line from here on. And we're using this overhead crane to then lift up the house and position it perfectly atop the undercarriage, marrying these two pieces together forever and going to the next part in the process.
Music line.
Yeah, the music playing. What's the music?
音楽が流れてるんですけど、これはどういう意味ですか？
クレーンとかが動くときに
When it's the crane,
わかるよう
the
に
crane is moving, and then
音楽を
make sure that you pay attention
Okay.
to
それ
it.
ぞれ違う音楽が鳴るように。
Each and every crane has a different music.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. The music you hear is to indicate the crane. Each crane moving plays music. Each crane has a different song it plays. The two assembly lines have converged on this now one single assembly line with the undercarriage and the house of the machine married together. So now we can get to the finishing touches, one of which is the cab. Each machine is now starting to really look like an excavator. They are much bigger than where we began. So around each machine, we have these temporary work platforms that will travel with the machine. And then over there, we have fixed work platforms so that the workers can access the machine without having to climb up and down. And before it rolls off the assembly line, the machine has to be filled with fluids. So here is where they will put diesel, coolant, hydraulic fluid, all of the fluids that this machine needs to run goes in here with those hoses that he's putting in right now. And once it is full, it will be able to power itself and drive right off the line. The very end of the manufacturing line, that is a just about finished excavator. It has everything it needs to do what it does. Now we are just missing the stick, boom, and counterweight. From here, it will roll into testing to ensure that it works as expected. And now that testing is over, the machines are to the next part of the factory where they fit the counterweight to then counterbalance the boom and stick and bucket working on the other end. It's not an excavator without the diggy bit. Once it has the counterweight on it, it's time for the boom and stick. First though, we have the lift cylinders. So they're using this overhead crane. Here are the next pairs of cylinders. They are attaching them to the machine, fitting the hydraulic lines, and then those booms will be going on those machines, making it officially an excavator. Now that we've seen assembly, let's stop by the area where they really make these HCM machines. with paint and decals. And now for the stickers. Make it pretty. With each machine complete, it was time for a lunch break. And yes, our boxed lunches were lunch in a box. And after lunch, it was time to head outside for final testing and shipping. Just 1 to 2 days ago in the factory, they rolled off that assembly line. They are completed. Undercarriage, house there, boom, stick, bucket, ready to go. But before they go into final inspection where their quality control people will run through all kinds of tests to make sure that excavator is good to go and ready for the customer. It's also worth noting this entire area is covered in steel plates so that these machines don't mark up the concrete as they're tracking around. This is the testing area. They do the exact same tests on every single machine. They test the horn, they lift the bucket up and down, boom, stick, move the machine back and forth, make sure everything is in tip-top shape. They spec the machines as the customer wants at the factory. So we have a 225 here that is standard configuration. Then we have a foundations machine right there with that triple boom setup. Behind that we have a long reach. There are some machines with blades on the front, some machines with cab guards, some machines without booms and sticks because that's how the customer wants it. They will spec these machines however the customer desires. And in only 178 easy steps, we now have a finished medium-sized Hitachi excavator. Thank you so much to Hitachi Construction Machinery and Arnold for having us here in Japan to see the medium excavator manufacturing process. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Please subscribe and we'll see you on the next one. Stay dirty.